So Microsoft has made a handheld Xbox, but the whole thing is that it's not an Xbox. It's just a handheld Windows 11 device. It's not going to be able to run things that are going to be launching on a real Xbox like GTA 6. Imagine that. GTA 6 to come out on an Xbox, but also not come out on an Xbox. I am all for PC gaming and PC handhelds, and the whole thing is that this is just not an Xbox. That's what I want to get behind, is Xbox is changing, and it's not really what it once was, and it's more evolving into something that I don't even know what it is anymore. What is an Xbox? Who knows anymore? At this point, it could be your toaster. I don't know. Like, maybe if your toaster has Wi-Fi, which some toasters have Wi-Fi, I don't know why, but they do. Like I was saying before, GTA 6 is not going to be able to run on this system. And I shouldn't say run, because I'm sure that it'll be able to run the game if it ever comes out for PC, but this is not an actual Xbox, which means it's not going to get Grand Theft Auto 6 at launch like a Series X or the PlayStation 5. Now, if you're someone who really wants to play GTA 5 and you're led on to believe that this actually is an Xbox system, you'll be severely disappointed to realize that once that game comes out, you won't be able to play it on the console since it's not actually coming out for the Rogue Ally X. I think my big gripe is the marketing that's going on behind the scenes here. Now, the fact is they're pushing this like it's a real Xbox console, but in reality, it's really not an Xbox console if you really think about it. This is a Windows 11 gaming PC, which in my opinion is actually way worse than something like the Steam Deck that runs SteamOS and Linux, because I actually really prefer Linux, and I've said it before in my previous videos. If you haven't seen my previous videos, go check them out. I've said it before that I really do love Linux and Arch Linux, and that's exactly what this is. You just get more performance out of your system. And the whole thing is that when you run Windows 11 on this device, you are reminded constantly that you're running Windows 11 with prompts, and it's everywhere. It's just all over the place. Windows 11 is all over, and it's scattered throughout this Rogue Ally X device. And it also just feels a bit odd that they would choose something like a Rogue Ally X to begin with. And I could see the pros of them doing it. It's a fast handheld, and I understand that, but it's just odd to pick a third-party company to go with and start partnering and not make your own systems like that, especially when you break into the handheld scene. I wonder if PlayStation's gonna go something back to like how they had the Vita. Do you think they'll do that? They'll make a new PlayStation handheld, since Xbox and Nintendo are both into the handheld scene and Sony's really the only one who hasn't stepped back in? I don't know. Something to think about. Also, who is this really for? Thinking about it now, I mean, if you're going to get a handheld, most people are just going to get a Steam Deck to begin with, and if you're not, you'll probably get something like the Legion Go 2, or maybe the GPD Win 5, or something like that, or maybe I guess Xbox now is because they're trying to use it as more of the brand name to get into the handheld space to begin with, but I think this is such a bad way to get into it, trying to partner with a different company instead of just stepping in on your own, because Microsoft has the budget to go in and do this themselves. They are literally one of the top 3 console manufacturers, right? There's only really 3 of them. There's Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. That's kind of just it, right? And I mean, Valve's kind of stepping in, but I mean, they could have just went with something themselves. And to me, power doesn't really mean everything, especially if it's annoying to use. Like I was saying before, the operating system will constantly remind you that you are running Windows 11. It has prompts, and it just is just annoying like that. It just reminds you that you are using Windows 11. Why? I don't know, but that's just the case. You have the Microsoft Store, and that's just one of the things that annoys me. I don't care if it's all about raw performance, if it really is that annoying to use. Something like the Steam Deck, like I keep mentioning in this video, is just, it's so unified and everything just works really good. You're running the operating system made by Valve, and you have Steam, which is a loved storefront on PC, and you have their own hardware, and it's just like a unified package. It just kind of feels off. And that's what I was saying before too, is that I don't know why they went with a third-party manufacturer like Rogue to make their system. I really don't know who this is for. If you're a console player and you're just going to want an Xbox Series X to begin with, that's what you want, the simplicity. You don't want to deal with drivers and all this extra stuff that PCs deal with. I'm not sure who this is for. It falls in this weird limbo zone where it costs more than a Steam Deck and it's not as much as a PC, but it's still a handheld, which is just more than this, and it's not as powerful as something like a real full-on desktop PC, but it's just this weird limbo spot. And I think Xbox is really losing their identity. They really have lost the last couple generations here with the Xbox One really underperforming compared to the PS4, and then looking at the Series X and S compared to the PS5, they really are bottoming out here. They're heading the road of Sega, which I've said before in a couple of my other Xbox videos, that they're heading in the route of Sega, where the Dreamcast was Sega's last system, and now they're just more moving into publishing games. Eventually, we're going to head into the era where I think that Xbox isn't going to publish their own consoles anymore. Think of the Series X. Imagine that being the last system, and then this new fake Xbox, I want to call it, because it really isn't an Xbox. I don't know what they're doing. Having an Xbox handheld that's made by a third party, or maybe a different third party, as that could be what they do, and just maybe Windows 11 could be the new Xbox. I really just don't know why you would buy it. It's $1,000 here in Canada, and I'm not sure how much it is in the US, but it would probably be like $750 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong for my US viewers. Why would you buy that if you can just buy Series X to begin with? I don't get it. I really don't understand. And if you're going to buy that, then also, you could just buy a Steam Deck. It's the same idea, and you can also run Windows 11 on here. I just don't get it. Like, you can also do the Legion Go 2 I was saying before, and that also is really good. Like, I don't know who is this for. I really don't know. Because if you're going to buy an Xbox, you would buy the Series X, because that is an Xbox. You could play GTA 6 when that comes out, because that's an actual Xbox. And you're not going to be limited to Windows 11 or whatever and get all these prompts and all that crap. How many of you out there would actually buy something like this over a Steam Deck? I mean, I'm really curious, because the whole thing is I just don't see why anyone would actually pick this over the Steam Deck other than raw power. But even then, I mean, you're running Windows 11, which you can do on here. It just doesn't make sense to me why you would pick the Xbox Rogue Ally over something like this to begin with. You have all the annoying prompts, and yes, I know anti-cheats and stuff work on Windows, but you can, like I said, you can run it on here. It's not something you can't do on here, and for your money, this really is just way better than this new Xbox handheld or whatever. I just would say get a Steam Deck and just move on and be happy, because you really could just glance over this thing, or even just get a Series X if you really want to get an Xbox. I've said this before. I already know what I'm doing, because I'm not going to buy this handheld. I've said it before in a previous video that what happened with my old Xbox was I literally had it unplugged for a few years, and I just went back to plug it in, and I needed to do a system update. I tried to update the system, and as it was updating, it corrupted all my save data, and I lost all my progress for GTA 5, which I was playing like every day for 5 years throughout high school. It really did suck, and it wasn't backed up in the cloud. I don't know. I'm done with Xbox. I don't care about this handheld. I don't care about the brand. I don't care about Microsoft. I don't care about these companies. Like I was saying, honestly, just go get a Steam Deck. If you really just want a more cohesive experience and something that's polished and has the community back behind it and keeps getting consistent updates from Valve, which really does get consistent updates. It's like every 2 weeks that you get like an update that fixes some problem that some dudes had on Reddit somewhere. I don't know. Seems to be the case. And that's just kind of how it is. And Microsoft really is lacking behind in that regard. The community already does not like Windows 11. And people are boycotting Windows 11 from Windows 10 since Windows 10 really did just get end of support. A lot of people are already boycotting Windows 11, and it just doesn't get the same community support that something like SteamOS does get. To me, this isn't Xbox anymore. Xbox used to mean just plug and play and play your games, and now where we're heading is just turn on the console, update drivers, and just deal with a Windows 11 headache like a PC, because it is a PC at the end of the day. Xbox is losing its brand identity, and having Game Pass as a subscription service where prices are going out of the control, and now this Xbox handheld, it really just is, Xbox is just lost as a brand. And Microsoft, I feel like you're doing a bad job with Xbox. And yeah, that's all I got for now. If you haven't seen my other videos, go check them out and subscribe if you're not. I'm a small channel and I would really appreciate it. Until then, I'll see you in the next one, hopefully.